All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. Quite the damage here in Indonesia from the quake. All right, this is the roads here in Indonesia. This is the result of the quake that they had there. See, I told you it was more than just a 6.7. That sucker was a lot stronger to do that kind of devastation. All right, and then you see this building or this structure moving. All this is laid to waste and it's still moving. Look, that's crazy. All right. Anyways, let's get into our report tonight. Let's get on over here to the seed site. I got the camera adjusted a little bit better here. We're looking pretty good. And that's yesterday or the other day. We're going to come back to this event later on and talk about that. So here we are, freeze framed at this. Let me zoom back out and get this loop started for us here. The other way. All right, so our date here, this is November 22nd of 2023 up here. You can see our date. And here's our loop playing. Let me tint this just a little bit better. All right, and you can see we've had a lot of activity on the sun today. And we'll go through this frame by frame and talk about each one here. The ones that I'm concerned about are these southerly ones. These ones, that one right there, and then a secondary southern one. Those ones right there look to be coming our direction. All right, so let's just kind of pull this down a little bit so we can get to the instrument right there. Okay, now let's find the opening frame. Let's back up a little bit here, just real quick. Okay, so here's our opening frame for the 22nd here, and you can see we've already got quite a CME going off over here. Let's see if we can find a good shot of this object here. Let me just go ahead and tilt this that way. Just get a little bit better up. There it is. Boom. That's a good shot. That's another one. All right, we'll do that one right there. Zoom in a little bit to it here. All right. Appears we have two objects here. You can clearly see this one right here. It looks that we have a secondary one down below right here. Okay. Let's go one more out. There we go. Then as that proceeds out of the screen, all right, that one, if it does come our direction, it'll probably go to the left of us, behind us or something. So we don't have to worry too much about this one. There's a glitch. You see this halo effect right here? This might be coming our way. So you see, even though this is kind of going off to the side, remnants of it right here look to maybe be coming our way. I don't know if that's a glitch or not, but you see that halo reading on this instrument. Now, as we continue with this event down here, you see how it's stretching out this line right here? Just taking it, and this magnetic field as it comes out just stretches that line, bows it way out there like that. And then in the core right here, you can see a dark little object that's already taken plasma and it's looped around and draping back behind it. There, you can see it in this one a little bit better. Kind of looks like a 6 right here. We'll even kind of zoom in on this a little bit, even though the red side doesn't show up as well. Yeah, you can see this little 6 type shape right here with our little dark core right in the middle of it. When we come over to this side, it's just so bright that it's kind of blacked out the screen there. But Now we'll take this down just a tad bit and go through these next few frames. As you see right here, this last frame right down here, you can see it pretty well as it exits the frame. This appears to be maybe a frame behind or something, but over here on this side is a good example of where it captured our object pretty well here. Okay, and you can still see that in black now, the 6 effect going around this object. It's all plasma that's around it and then draping back behind it. And that's like in the negative format compared to the frame we saw. I think that's the image from a couple frames ago. But here you can see it leaving the screen right there. And pull back to our regular programming here. All right, so we had that southerly event right there. That looks to like go right in our direction. It could pass to the south of the planet. We'll get to that later. We have this little event popping off to the north. You can clearly see this round object right here. Again, we got another circular spheroid type object here, and the instrument's even reacting to the shape of it. Okay, so it's not just me thinking that it looks round. The instrument's actually reacting to the roundness of it as it moves up and out and away. Something else sneaking through down here. But then as we progress, at the tail end here, we have this big, widespread CME, boom, right here, that seems to be covering the whole, from left to right, this whole area. So this one, I'm afraid, might come our way too. It's directed more out in front of us, so this one, it might hit us, and we'll go into it at the same time. If it's coming our direction, it looks to be. All right, so we've had another couple blasts off the right hand or off the left hand side there. Let's put this back into motion now. The southern, there's like 2.5 there. Or that first one's like the full CME. Then a second one, there was a secondary blast there that was kind of faint. And then this big one. So that would translate into the 25th. We'll see what direction all this energy's heading. Okay, but we have had quite the events going on the sun again today on the 22nd. All right, so there's that. While we're at this instrument, I want to back up a day to this event. And I'm going to zoom into this. This was quite a capture here. And after watching it on my replay, I don't think it captured it quite well enough. It's too bright, so we need to darken it a little bit. Do you see it there a little bit better? Let's zoom in a little bit more here. There we go. Okay, now it's captured on the 20th. All right, so what, 2 days ago? Well, it'll be 3 days ago now. If this thing traveled with the CME, say 3 days it takes, it could arrive here tomorrow. But by the looks of things, I saw some activity, some weird activity in this little region since then. So I think this thing is still in this position. Believe it or not, it was there, it gets knocked out of position, then hides right back into position again. All right, and the reason why I got it going so fast is so you can see the rotation on this object is just unbelievable. All right. So, hopefully you guys get a good eyeful of that right there. Because, yeah, they got some explaining to do. I don't believe whatever they say anyway because I can tell by just looking at it. All right, so there's your event from yesterday. Quite the we had a CME, like some object come flying out of here. It was a secondary one that came out faster than the first one, and it came out so close and so fast it kind of nudged this thing, tilted it, nudged it out of whack there, and then you can see it recover and go back into alignment. Yes, quite the event yesterday. Okay, we're going to leave that there for later. Let's come on over here now. Starting up here at the top, we got quite a lot of activity up here to report on tonight. And go into 250, bring it over, and ta-da, there you go. There's your GOES X-ray flux for the moment here. And you can see we've steadily climbed up out of this sea range at the sea floor and working our way up as we keep having these events, keeps climbing higher and higher and higher. And the GOES X-ray flux is getting almost up to M class. Here we've had our event, and it was an M class event, but a slow. See the slow duration, the little yellow in there? So we've had a slow, not too slow, but a semi-slow duration event already into the 23rd here. And if you want to see that, let's go backward. Well, yeah, we can go backwards. Let's go zoom some stuff real quick and go take a peek at what just came off on the 23rd, because I saw, whoops, they had it already posted right here. Okay, so we have the rest of this big event going on here at the bottom, whoops, at the bottom half here. All right, this is a little sneak peek at tomorrow's already. So this is another big southerly event right here. And if we could pause it, right? That's the first frame. Let's do. Wow, that's quite a widespread from all the way over here to all the way over there. Okay, that's quite a widespread coming. It looks like coming our direction, and you see this central object right in here. Barely make it out, but you can see the round shape of it. Whoops, I'm going backward. All right, and that's a little sneak peek at what's already coming out. That's this event right here already happening. Okay, so we got a lot of inbound energy, it looks like. All right, so some absorption going on as well. This is a regular amount for the daytime over there, but earlier it was a little bit more intense. Let's back out of that one. It's not doing too good right now. All right, so back down to our sunspots. We have quite a bit going on right now. All right. These two regions, this beta gamma at 3490 and region 3492 at a beta gamma as well. Both of those regions are really close to each other, so we got to watch out for some flaring coming out of those two when those two magnetic fields get too close to each other. And God forbid another object induce something on one of these sunspots as well. Let's look at your KP real quick. Probably most of you have seen this already today. Here was our event. We were talking last night right about here that we'd be expecting, inbound energy to look for a KP event, and here it is. It was a KP5 for a little while there. That's a decent little blast, all right. Over here you can see our auroras. Let's back out of this one and just go open the auroras. I said open auroras. There we go. So medium, absorption right now. Well, mild. Let's just say mild. Okay. You can see though we are getting brushed gently with some radiation, some X-rays, and everything coming in right there. All right, it's nothing too bad. You see this region coming around the edge of the sun right here. This has got a big sunspot. Everybody's watching this big complex. Remember they called this a complex, and we got another region rotating around into Earth facing direction. So below is the latest look at the sunspot. Yep. Here, let's just see if we can get a nice big shot of this. I don't do the sunspots too much, but as you can see, whoops, I guess we can't scroll this one. We got quite the complex going up here. These little independent ones down in here. And then soon up at this, just behind the limb here, we'll see that other region rotate into view here soon. All right, let's open up the tracker real quick. And I did see something on this one. Let's see if they updated it anymore. All right, yeah, I want to talk about this one just a tad bit, if we can get right there. Okay, now it's updated. All right, here's the Earth right here, this yellow dot. You see this CME going away from us at an angle, which is okay, but the very edge of it is still going to cross barely with us. It doesn't show too much on here, but let's watch on this one. Just right out in front of the Earth. Here's the Earth right here. You see, boom. We do catch just the very hint edge of it. You see when this thing expands, it expands right into the Earth just a tad bit. All right, so we will catch just a little bit of said CME right here, okay, from this one coming off. So just the very outside edge of the wave is going to scoot right next to us. So we will catch just a slight little impact from that one. Nothing too bad. Let's back out of this. Or maybe not. Let's just go on over to the Schumann. Okay. Get you dialed in on this one real quick here. Do our little scooch dance. All right. We have a new effect going on. Not new, but semi-new effect going on right here at this frequency. All right, you see this band right here is more intense. Okay, the white shows intensity. So for some reason, at about 13.5 hertz or so, we're having some strong vibration down at that range. I think this might be the barrier where magma and the bottom side of the crust. So if there's magma moving along the bottom side of the crust, it makes a certain sound, certain frequency, and it might be. It's just an idea. I'm not quite sure how to explain these. I know that our 7.8 is right here going along, and if you look way over here to the left, I showed you these the other day. There were 2 weak events right here where a magnetic field got weak over here to the left, and then this one right here, there was a weakening right there. Then we went into another absorption event, and here's the screeching right here. It kind of probably started hitting right about there, absorbed 4 hours, and then starts screeching away. All right. And as we're pumping along, we're still screeching coming out the end here. All right, so it's not over yet. And we're still absorbing energy. So this looks to continue. And so does the swelling from down below coming up to the surface. So watch all of our volcanoes. In fact, they all just went off in accordance with all this yesterday. A bunch of them all went off yesterday. I can't name them all right now, but you'll see that when this inbound energy came in, the Earth absorbed it and reacted pretty quick. There were a lot of blasts yesterday, so even the one up to 50,000 feet. Okay, so the Earth reacts not instantaneously, but pretty quickly when we take one on the chin. Coming over to here. Why was I so zoomed in on that? Oh, I was looking for that railroad chemical spill. Molten sulfur spilled at this railroad crash. And that's not good. And sulfur gets into the air, mixes with the water, and produces sulfuric rain or sulfuric acid rain. It's very, very bad for the environment. Anyways, everything's still kind of pumping out medium, medium intensity. Nothing too dark on this map right now, which is good. Okay, I didn't really I'm reporting on that. I want to come over and show you something else on this one. This needs to back off. There we go. I want to check this out real quick here. Take you over to our polar vortex. Pull your down, zoom in. All right, you're looking down at the top of the Earth. You see our polar vortex going around, and you see it's got this feeder coming off over here. Then when it comes around here to America, it splits. Now, I want you to look very carefully at what's going on here. The polar vortex is splitting right at the west coast right here, doing a frickin' U-turn and going backward. Going backward into China. Okay? I'm not making this stuff up. Look at it yourself. A big section of it has peeled off, made a 180. Look at this 180. Boom. And is going backwards across the Pacific. Aiming right back at Japan, China, and then look down here. Look how this flow comes down and then continues to go backwards across this region. All right, so we're going to see some violent changes in the upper jet. So let's come over to the upper jet. We're in transition right now, so everything's getting wonky and wacky. I want you to take a look at this flow right here coming off of China here. You got this cold air that's coming off of Siberia up here, mixing with warm air off of India and Africa, combining right here at North Korea and Japan. These guys are going to get hammered with snow and wild weather, right? Okay? You see how that comes together, that cocktail of the cold and the warm blending together right there and just slamming that Korean Peninsula, Japan region, okay? Where was the other side I saw? Okay, now, I showed you the polar vortex going backwards at this point, right? This is the layer down below, okay? This is the upper jet stream that directs most of the storms. It's got this intensity coming off here, but when it hits that backward flow, look how it disperses and either goes up north or just kind of fans out and doesn't get... See this intensity? This should carry right on through, but it's all disrupted because that upper jet, that's where that upper polar vortex is coming against it right there. So it creating this kind of backup in the upper jet right there, causing cold air from way up here to come slamming down right along the west coast here, okay? This is going to be your freight train of directing the storms. You see this warm, moist air that comes up here, they collide in this region right off of Southern California. Okay, so Southern California, right in that region right there, you guys are going to be right in the bullseye for where these air masses are going to combine and come together. All right, so 2 regions to watch out there. Also, you see this streak coming in from the bottom, kind of skirting the Gulf Coast and then moving out. It's still funneling some stuff, some moisture off the Gulf up into the eastern states. So we'll have to watch this flow a little bit because it could direct some storms later on in the week if it doesn't, shift position. Um, Look at these violent dips. Comes way down here and then goes way up there. All right, so we're seeing some really wonky weather flow asymmetries in our upper jet stream. Okay, which is going to cause wonky weather. Here, right here, the Great Lakes. You see where this conveyor belt of cold air coming down out of the Hudson Bay, out of Canada, the center right over the Hudson Bay right here. And it's taking air out of Canada, bringing it down and back up, but it mixes in with this this air coming off the Pacific. So that region right in here, let me take the winds out of there, sorry. Okay, let me just kind of zoom in a little bit better for you guys. So you see this region right here from all around there. Be careful, the weather's being directed that way. Anyways, let's get back out of this. I just wanted to show you that wonky polar vortex right now. Okay, moving on. Let's get over here to our earthquakes. We had those 2 6s yesterday, or earlier today, the 6.0, and, well, actually a 7. I'm going to call that one a 7 because that's what they reported it as. And USGS knocks them down. So we had a 6, a 7, and watch out for an 8. Because the way things are going, it could possibly happen now with this inbound energy swelling again from the the inside of the Earth outward, pushing up underneath the crust. Excuse me. Oops. Okay, let's start over at our starting point here. Deep quakes. These are kind of new, it looks like. No, that was a while ago. A 4.3 at a depth of 541. And a 4.3 at a depth of 575. So we've had 2 deep earthquakes right in the same region, right around the same depth right here. 4.3 and another 4.3. Combined energy comes up to the top of the surface, probably about 5. Here's a 4.6 already on this part of the plate boundary. Then going into the system here, you don't see much. All right, so let me timestamp this. 17. What's this one? 14. Okay. Then we come up to here. This is even earlier in the day. Yeah, that one was there from yesterday. It's old energy getting out of the way. So this 4.8. That one's pretty recent. Okay, so that's just a newer one right there. 5 energy moving through the area, kind of getting out of the way. This whole side's quiet. This side's pretty quiet too. This is 4.5 up in Japan at a depth of 106. That's not enough energy from that 6, those combined 6s that we had in the region. There's going to be more earthquakes in this area. This is yet to fill in. You guys know how this works. You look at this map and you see how naked it is. I'm not really predicting anything. It's just reading that way. Nothing through this whole zone. Look how quiet that whole zone is. That's getting scary. All right. I expect to see some 5s coming in here. Remember, we have this combined two 4.3s here. So surface energy 5 coming in. All right. This is old. So if you scrub that, because that's residual from yesterday, so if you scrubbed that, this whole map, basically, except for these 2, is naked. All right, so we got a lot of open space that's going to be filling in. Here we've had one of these quakes over here at the Himalayas again. This is just down from the other site. It's a 3.8. I just want to take a little peek in here. You see the dark patch area right here? This is where we had our weak spot and had that series of quakes here in Nepal. I was expecting something possibly in this region. This is it. just down a little is all. 3.8, that's, I was expecting maybe 4 to 5, really, in that range. So that might be a little precursor of something else to come in this region because I don't think that's quite a bit enough. For all the energy in the area, for all the energy, combined energy from these two deep quakes plus the sixes that went off yesterday, that doesn't look like that's all of it. It hasn't even released yet. Hasn't made it up here and dumped off a couple of quakes yet. Over here, we did have this 4.3. This is very recent. This is just like an hour or so ago. So that, more of that earlier 5 energy getting out of the way. Look, this area is all blank too. Okay, awfully quiet for a lot of energy that we just absorbed and more coming in. So expect this map to kind of start lighting up here pretty soon, unfortunately. 4.1 at a depth of 202. We have a 4.4 at a depth of 172. So some energy being released at the fulcrum point. Let's come over to the Cocos plate. 4.7 here at Costa Rica. I want to, oops. Oh, good, it's on the land. Let's see what kind of feature set this off. I bet there's a volcanic feature close by. These are all clouds. It's too bad you can't really tell. Yeah, right here, though, close by is volcanic features. So a lot of volcanically induced quakes as well as plate boundary quakes. This is like an interior pressure when it comes in and pushes on this bulge right here. Instead of cracking loose right here on the plate boundary line, it hops these mountains and it relieves pressure on the foothills on the back side of this. Actually, this is more in the valley there, but usually right along the foothills in the weak zone. There's probably a little weak zone right in here too, somewhere underground. How deep is that? 9.5. So that's pretty shallow. That's not too far down there. All right, let's even kind of take a peek up here at the Juan de Fuca. Now, we'll be 3.2 at a depth of 22. I expected a little more energy release than that. So I think we're still due a little more energy released in this area, as well as creeping in. Once it kind of makes it over the garden hose, the kink in the garden hose here, and travels down, makes it over the hump, I think we're still due to see some 5 to mid-range 5 energy still coming in. This isn't enough. There's going to be more, I think, coming in here. If this is a 5.2, I would say it was over, but 3.2 doesn't seem to have diminished enough. These other ones are really small. I don't even really, at 2.6, just little. Over here. Here at Hawaii, we have had a series of quakes. All right, there was even more here earlier, but let's just try to pluck them all out of here. 2.7, 2.7. All right, give me that edge one. All right, let's go back to this one. The depth is 0.1, 1.6 on this one. 1.4, 1.9. These are all, mid-range 2s, but the depth on all of them is uniformed. It's really shallow, so we got magma moving around at the surface underneath Mauna Loa here. So watch out for this thing to start puffing and possibly smoking and having an eruption again. All right, it looks like it's coming to life again. All these things are going to start coming to life again with this new added pressure, this new added energy injected into the core. All right, so you see it's pretty quiet out there. 4.3 Noran. All right, over to our forecast. You guys are hanging tough. Hang in there. We're almost done with this, and we'll get to the spiritual report. Go ahead and start the loop. Even scroll down a little bit better for you guys. What's going on with my brightness? Alright, so really not much to report on here either. Main thing I want to point out though, once this loop comes back around, see the potential for that storm. That's later in December, or when we start December, but here we are, current conditions right here. This storm now has moved offshore. We have a little break right now. We're going from the nighttime into the morning of Thanksgiving right now here, okay? We got this new impulse coming in through the Rockies, the snow moving into Wyoming, Idaho, through Montana, even northern Nevada, pushing down into the interior here through the Rockies. This is the morning, or the noon time of Thanksgiving, okay? For those of you that are traveling or have travel plans, most people will be eating turkey right here, around this time. This is the end of convection, sundown, the 23rd, with the snowstorm up here from, up from Nevada up into Montana and then back down. Then, as we go through the nighttime of Thanksgiving, right there, that's the morning after. That's Black Friday morning. So people that are returning, if you have a connecting flight in Denver, you might have delays because this is a hub, a central connector hub for a lot of flights. So if you have any flights that are connecting in Denver, you might see some delays or cancellations because of this snowstorm running through there, okay? Just heads up, okay? It's a fair warning. So let me back up. That's the morning of the 24th. That's the noon time. The end of convection right there. And then the nighttime. And then the morning of the 25th. So that snow's there. It lingers for a while, okay? It's even there into the noon of the 25th, kind of moving into Kansas now, with an icing event possible in the panhandle of Oklahoma now. These two merge. There's a little moisture merging with this cold air here over Oklahoma, Kansas on the 25th. That's the end of convection right there. Then it goes into the nighttime of the 25th. You see this connecting down to this moisture here over the nighttime of the 25th. Then as we get into the morning of the 26th, it starts to really come together. There's a rain event going to happen through the 26th, all through this corridor, all right, with snow up here in this part. This is on the 26th. A lot of people might be returning this time or whatever, okay? So look at your regions and your times accordingly to where you might be traveling at such time. Down here, potential for severe weather again down here in Louisiana, Alabama, and even possibly into Mississippi on the noon time of the 26th. There's the end of convection on the 26th. Now, depending on what comes off... Oh, wait, we just saw the 23rd. Okay, takes 3 days for what comes off the sun to reach the earth. We just saw all that stuff come off of the sun today, the 23rd. That's what will be influencing the 26th. We need to go backwards on this 26th and start all over again, even just a little bit before it. So as this monster comes together, this cold air mass with snow and moisture on the bottom comes together in the nighttime of the 25th, we go into the morning of the 26th with inbound energy ready to influence this. Then, when we get to the noontime and you see this severe weather here, give me this one more time. A little bit bigger. There we go. You see this potential for severe weather back down in here. Yeah, there's a cold air mass. It could shift up to here, this boundary line too. All right, so the potential's out there, and with inbound energy from the sun, possibly influencing this and making it increase, that potential's there. So careful, everybody, this time in this region on, again, the noon time of the 26th, going into the end of convection here, All right. Now they show it diminishing, but with inbound energy, this could blossom and intensify and even possibly shift a little bit further north up here. You see where our two air masses collide right here. That little boundary line. I could see some of this wild weather shifting more northernly. We'll see what happens there. Okay, this is going to be a very dynamic event here on the 26th. Even into the nighttime, you see it compacting and rotating here. Let me go back a frame or two. All right, you see this low up here gathering strength and twisting up and drawing this up into New York here. The nighttime of the 26th. Right there, bingo, where they collide on the morning of the 27th here. Let me just get a little bit better at that for you guys. This is the whole East Coast, northern East Coast. All right, it's going to slam New York, Long Island, Pennsylvania, up into New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts. The whole area is, you see how widespread all the yellow is, all right? And with the possibility of added energy to this to make it intensify. So I pray I'm wrong, and everybody needs to be praying, vigilantly about, this weather for better results than this. Or less devastating, let's just say that. That's the noontime of the 27th, so let's back up just a second. So from right here, the nighttime of the 26th, the morning of the 27th, then into the noon. See all this snow back up here in Canada. Watch out, folks, up in there. Through the end of convection, it moving up through Maine on the 27th, and then out of there. And then it pretty much clears up for quite a while after that. Little impulse up here in the Pacific Northwest, another little impulse coming down here in the south. Remember I was showing you that band coming together and pushing stuff into the Southern California area? So we might see a little event come down through there too. I'm not really going to report too much on these. This is too far out to be predictable, but let's just show you, for instance, what they're showing here though. Starting here, the morning of December 2nd, we got this big old storm skirting the country, but watch the west coast here. Boom. It intensifies with severe weather in the noon hour. This is actually 10 a.m. Pacific. That's 4 p.m. about sundown with the end of convection with severe weather all along the coast and heavy snow in the Sierras by the sundown of December 2nd. So any of you people in the Bay Area that are going to try to travel up to the Sierras, leave and get back down there before December 2nd, because they go up there for New Year's Eve. And you'll have all of December 1st. Woo, we got a storm then too. All right, so watch out for the New Year's Eve celebration, Christmas time. Not Christmas, not New Year's either. This is December 2nd, my bad. Getting ahead of myself. December 2nd time frame. That's going to be quite a storm coming through there. Boom. From the end of convection right there through the nighttime hours, the morning 4 a.m. December 3rd, the noon or 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and then by 10 p.m. December 3rd, it should be out of there. I don't know why I kept thinking New Year's. I'm thinking of all the traffic that after the holidays that tries to get out of there at once. All right, anyways, we got another event possibly here in December 4th hitting the Pacific Northwest. This thing, if it winds up like it's showing here, see how it just kind of takes out of nowhere, just kind of forms, takes shape out of nothing. Snow up top, all the way down, wild weather down south there. And then when that thing winds up, look how wild this gets here. Boom. Even up into, it seems to like to drive stuff right up into the northeast there. So potential another round there. All right, let's just put that back into the loop and let you see that go for a minute while I get ready for the rest of this report. All right, I hope you enjoyed the solar earthquake, all the weather reports and stuff. These are all things we need to watch. These instruments, because of the effects that the sun is having on the planet, okay, these are where you're going to see your signs as well that were promised in the Bible. He says, look for signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. Well, we study the sun. We see signs in the sun. Signs like this, right here. Okay? Let me go in even tighter for you. Boom. Come on now with the slide bar. Would be so nice to have a professional studio. All right, there we go. Take a look at that for a second while I kind of get all my stuff together for tonight's reading. Yeah, quite the event right there that was captured. That's when you wrap your mind around it, it's quite disturbing. And no mention of it, you know. Of course, no one's going to address it. I probably didn't even notice it. So, my lucky audience, huh? You guys are lucky. We got a cool little group here. All right, so, oops, actually, I can leave that there. I didn't need that anymore, anyways. We're going over here. All right. Some of you guys remember this video. I just kind of pulled this up because of this face right here. And maybe. Here we go. And what was going on here is the growling and spit and lightning. Well, this country has been backstabbing us for a long time. And this is more like a spiritual warning. So this is not an evil face. This is your rescuer coming, giving the bad guys a warning, right? You guys want to see this video real quick while I drop all my stuff in the background? Okay, we're going to show it just real quickly. Right there.
Okay, this lady is highly intelligent. She recognizes what's going on here, and what she did is she sped up the sound. She sped up this video 2 times because stuff is happening in different dimensions and slow motion. So when you speed things up, you start to see the activity even clearer.
So when you speed things up, you see it clearer. Things are happening in slow motion, just like that UFO tilting event. All right, this is happening in slow motion, but when you speed it up, all of a sudden it becomes crystal clear.
So here we go.
So these events are already happening, folks. All right, that happened a while ago, and there's going to be more of that activity. All right, but I want to use that image as a soothing image, not a scary image. All right, it should scare the shit out of the enemy, But it should be a soothing image for you, knowing that you got somebody bigger on your side. Okay? Hopefully you can see this face. You can see it wearing a crown. It spits lightning. I'll show you where we'll go later on to that, maybe. Are we doing a reading now, Lord? Or are we talking about this? Okay, I guess we're going to do the reading now for a minute. Let me get some more light on the situation. So, these people weren't even aware of the face in the sky. They were just hearing the sounds. This was a video about strange sounds in the sky, right? And Slovakia has had a rash of these strange sounds and these strange occurrences. And there's a lot more going on in Slovakia than meets the eye, all right? And the Lord knows about it, all right? And He's giving fair warning to these people right here, all right? So this should, it has multiple effects on people, okay? As believers, it should be reassurance that you have somebody more powerful on your side and that these people that are trying to take over the world are in for a rude surprise. So, while you're looking at that, that's the face of God, the Savior there, chewing out the bad guys. Alright. Oh, it's not enough light. Alright, I'm trying my best here, folks. Alright, here we go. I want to start. No. We're supposed to start here. Alright. I am calling you to a life of constant communication with me. Basic training includes learning to live above your circumstances, even while interacting on that cluttered plane of life. You yearn for a simplified lifestyle so that your communication with me can be uninterrupted. But I challenge you to relinquish the fantasy of uncluttered world. Accept each day just as it comes and find me in the midst of it all. Talk with me about every aspect of your day, including your feelings. Remember that your ultimate goal is not to control or fix everything around you. It is to keep communing with me. A successful day is one in which you have stayed in touch with me, even if many things remain undone at the end of the day. Do not let your to-do list, written or mental, become an idol directing your life. Instead, ask my Spirit to guide you moment by moment. He will keep you close to me. I have promised to meet all your needs according to my glorious riches. Your deepest, most constant need is for my peace. I have planted peace in the garden of your heart where I live, but there are weeds growing there too. Weeds like pride, worry, selfishness, and unbelief. I am the gardener, and I am working to rid your heart of those weeds. I do my work in various ways. When you sit quietly with me, I shine the light of my presence directly into your heart. In this heavenly light, peace grows abundantly and weeds shrivel up. I also send trials into your life. When you trust me in the midst of trouble, peace flourishes and weeds die away. Thank me for troublesome situations. The peace they can produce far outweighs the trials you endure. And we got to change this image. Let's go back to our regular one. Sorry, but I love that image. Almost cost me my life taking these pictures. Oh.
Savers just launched the craziest sale of the year.
No way. Craziest sale of the year? Right before Christmas? No way. Alright. Let's just get a good shot over here. Where's the bigger angle? There it is. Alright. Hopefully you guys get a nice, beautiful picture of that right there. Alright. I should have just had that one up the whole time. Alright. Let's get to this other part I had for you guys here. Is this it? Yeah. I am your brother and your friend. I am the firstborn among many brothers. You are being conformed to my likeness. This is an astonishing privilege and blessing. Some children are blessed to have strong, loving older brothers who help protect them. You have an all-powerful big brother who is constantly looking out for your interests. Even the most committed family member or friend cannot be with you always, but I never leave your side. I am your friend who sticks closer than a brother. My continual presence with you should never be taken for granted. Remember that your faithful friend is also King of Kings. I am the first and the last, the living one who was dead and is alive forever and ever. I want you to relate to me with reverence because I am your Savior God. Remind yourself that the glorious gift of salvation is yours forever, and honor me with gratitude. Praise me for the help of my presence. At all times and in all circumstances, it's appropriate to pray, "Thank you, Jesus, for being with me here and now." You may not sense my presence with you, but I have promised, and that is enough. An important part of your assignment as a Christian is to trust that I am with you always. In faith, talk to me about your thoughts and your feelings, your struggles and your pleasures. Believe that I care deeply for you and I hear all your prayers. Seek my help with confident anticipation. Be on the lookout for all the ways I am at work in and through you. Rejoice that you and I together can do immeasurably more than all you ask or imagine. My power is at work within you, especially as it connects with your weakness offered up to me for my purposes. Remember that nothing is impossible with me, and refuse to be intimidated by daunting circumstances. Praise me for the help of my presence. Okay, was that it, Lord? I think that was it. Oh, wait. No, we'll go right there. Alright, yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Maybe we'll go back real quick and take a peek at our latest revelation here. Because I want a nice... Before it was too bright. I want it just right so everybody can see it pretty like. Alright. So, NASA, JPL, all these other people that try to explain this stuff away. I can't wait to see you try to explain this away. I bet you nobody will even address it. It'll be swept under the rug in a couple of weeks and we'll be moving on. But here you go. You can see what's going on out there right next to the sun. Just kind of in a different realm. Alright. And it's all because someone's here. We got races from across the universe coming to see the grand finale. Alrighty. That's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. God bless you all. And until my next video, I'll be back. I'm already back.